I have the pleasure now of introducing the moderator for this panel, which is called The Power of Networking. I'll pass over to Martina Pecková-Černá, who will introduce each of the speakers and all the wonderful institutions who have been networking and coming here to talk about that. Martina, I think it's over to you, but we have agreed that if we have time, there might be questions at the end, but we have to stop at exactly 6 o'clock because we need to get ready for the keynote. So the time is now, we've got 88 minutes, 51 seconds left. Martino, it's on you now.
So it's my task to check the numbers there on the screen. So hello everybody, good afternoon, thank you for coming. And thank you, Pavel and Barbara Příhodová, the creator of PQ Talks, for having us. This talk will continue the topic of international cultural collaboration and is organized in collaboration with PQ, with Perform Check, based in the Arts and Theatre Institute, and 5 international theatre non-governmental organizations. In our talk, we will look at these organizations through the lens of their global outreach, and we will ask the following questions. What space do they offer for networking, education, professional exchange, and growth? And what values do they share? What is the architecture of their activities? What is the umbrella of values they share and defend? So, ASSITEJ, AICT, ITI, OISTAT, UNIMA. These short names with a long history dating back to the 1920s, to the after-war period or Cold War, will be presented by my 8 wonderful guests. They are coming from 7 countries, from 3 continents, and you can check now their short profiles on the screen behind me. What I should comment yet, actually, originally we should be even more, 9. We should have 1 more continent represented through Emmanuel Dandaura, a theater critic and professor from Nigeria, but unfortunately the Schengen visa system was so strict that we cannot have him. It's a pity, and I'm sure that the previous talk discussed a lot all the obstacles in cultural collaborations with African countries. But as a symbol and honor to Emmanuel, I wear today this shirt, which is a cloth brought from the international theater market in Abidjan. So actually this is symbolic, and symbolically we have Africa represented as well. So I am thrilled that the PQ Plus program enabled these 5 organizations representatives to meet in high numbers in Prague. Not only these wonderful speakers are with me here, but also others, they are here in the audience, but they are having also a specific program organized here in Prague and also in other towns in the Czech Republic, attending shows, having debates, conferences, professional meetings, and we are very happy that this happened and was made possible through this big international gathering, which is Prague Quadrennial. Not only OISTAT is very tightly connected with Prague Quadrennial because it gathers set designers, theater architects, and technicians from all over the world. But also the other organizations are in touch with us. But this is really a unique opportunity to have them represented through 2 presidents, members of executive committees of these international organizations, but also through national centers. So you will experience in a while what these organizations do and how you might be also involved in their activities. Our talk will be divided into 2 parts, so everyone will be able to present a little bit what she or he does. In the first part, we will have a quick overview of what are the missions of the 5 organizations. In the second part of the talk, we will go a little bit deeper into the activities. And just a last note from me, because now I hope all the others will speak and not me anymore. Just a technical note, forgive me if I will be strict, because we have 5 organizations. We should keep the values we stand for. We should be equal with the space we provide to each other. So if I stop you and you're too long, I'm sorry for that. So, let's start with the status of the organizations with the basic mission. Let's present the 5 organizations one by one. We will start with UNIMA, represented by Dimitri Jagenot, General Secretary of the International Union of Puppeteers. So please, Dimitri. What does UNIMA do?
So the situation of UNIMA International now is quite positive in the sense of the dynamics of new centers. So since 2 years, we succeed to have 11 new centers. Most of them are in Africa because we, since the pandemic, we have the chance to develop some tools and digital tools, making easier contacts and communication, and even education program and project with different centers in different parts of Africa. So that was very successful and were supported by UNESCO in this kind of project that we do, and we finished 1 week before about the project of tomorrow's puppetry in Africa. In this sense, also we face the reality and the news. So one new center is Sudan from UNIMA. So we need also to answer to the members. So the networking of UNIMA International is not just to create centers, but to have contacts in every country and every part of the world. So UNIMA is the organization. So I like to call like that UNIMA, because UNIMA is also an acronym, a French acronym, so Union Internationale de la Manette. But UNIMA is not a union, as in English. That's more than, we're not a syndicate. We are more a corporation where there are different voices and from different continents. And we provide and we try to open the possibility of communication with all big countries of puppetry. So we have India, China, Japan, but we have also different countries, new countries like Sudan, for example. They are not known for tradition, but we are there with them, and we are trying also with programs of solidarity and cooperation. It's not only to give education, but we are also helping them in the sense of emergency help. So like UNIMA Ukraine. So last year we were, and that's a quite huge center of UNIMA International, more than 250 members. I don't speak about UNIMA Russia. It's more than that's all. We are facing the reality of the politics inside an organization, but we don't do politics. So we are artists, and in the beginning, when this visionary of the puppetry world decided in Baden-Baden in 1926, and afterwards with the association, the Czech association, and with puppeteers from France to create with 11 founding countries the UNIMA International, that was the idea to go beyond the border. What happens in Germany? If I am Belgian puppeteer, I am a quite small country. I am interested and curious about what happens in Germany or in Czech Republic. And the same for the French puppeteer. They wanted also, after the First World War, to develop some program, some possibility of meeting. That's also very important to stress the notion of meeting, because we have the digital part now, the digital meeting, but it's never there will be the same as physical meeting, because the personalities that constitute UNIMA International in the history was all the time decisive in the meeting. It's why, for example, the first puppet school was created in 1952 by the previous and very famous General Secretary Jan Malik, so in Czech Republic, so in Prague. So in one way, UNIMA International provide a lot of project, not only one project, but the most important things is the possibility of sharing not only contacts, but also solidarity and knowledge and also creativity, because most of us are puppeteers, and 95 or 99% of the members of UNIMA International are puppeteers. Very humble puppeteers playing shows for children in South America or in Africa or even in Europe, so everywhere. So we have now around 7,000 members around the world, and we have 93 centers. So that's, I would say, my small speech of introduction.
Thank you very much for this short overview about UNIMA. It's the oldest of the organizations we are going to present, established already in 1929. The next one is the International Association of Theatre Critics, represented by the president of this association, Jeffrey Eric Jenkins. So Jeffrey, please tell us about the origins and current state of AICT.
Well, thank you, Martina, and thank you all for being here. It's an honor to sit with these folks and to think about the bridges that we can build between our organizations. The International Association of Theater Critics is a bilingual organization that was first organized in the French language and also operates in the English language, which is good for me because I'm able to then function. My French is not very good, as my colleagues will be happy to tell you. But in 1956, the association was formed, but it was based on an association that goes back 150 years. There was a French Arts Journalists Association that just celebrated its 150th anniversary last fall. And out of the French Critics Association, there was a formation in 1956 of the International Association of Theater Critics. In the United States, the American Theater Critics Association formed in 1974 and immediately affiliated with the International Association. And what we focus on is attempting to, from my perspective, and some of my colleagues from the executive committee are here today, and I'm hoping at some point that they will correct me when I'm wrong and that they will add to what we're talking about. But we're working to build global discourse, to enhance global discourse about the art of theater. And some of our critics are also involved in dance and in opera and that sort of thing. But the idea is to remind all of us, those of us who are in the theater, whether we're in front of the lights, behind the lights, off stage, backstage, wherever, that there is a kind of discourse in which we can engage and think about the things that we are doing in the theater and how we can enhance the examination or the exploration of the nature of human experience. And that, I think, is something that we all have in common sitting on this dais, and I think everyone in this room, if you're at the Prague Quadrennial, that's something that you're interested in. I think we're going to talk a little bit more later about the various activities that we undertake. We have had as many as 80 national sections. We do not currently have that. We're about half of that number. And I think that this is a focus of the executive committee as we're moving forward to begin reaching out. Some of this is driven by the pandemic. Some of this is driven by the shrinkage of media outlets around the globe and the shift into new forms of media, web-based media, social media, and that sort of thing. So those are some of the the highlights or maybe the lowlights of how we've come to be. But we are at this point and moving forward, we're focused on building bridges among the community, building bridges among the community of these groups, and we're focused on celebrating, advocating for, arguing for free expression. That is a key component of what we're involved with in the International Association of Theater Critics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Third organization, which will be presented by Željka Turčinović, the executive committee member, is ITI, the International Theatre Institute. International Theatre Institute is probably the biggest performing arts organization, which was established in 1948 and is probably the most closely connected organization to UNESCO and its goals. So please, Željka, present this organization.
Yes, you're right. ITI was established in 1948, and from there we have a lot of events, a lot of things to do. In fact, the first was the Theatre of Nations. Now there is no Theatre of Nations, but it is a very good festival for performing arts. And also we have two events we are celebrating. It's the World Theatre Day, each 29th of March, and Dance Day, International Dance Day, 29th of April. What is important? ITI advances. ITI goals are very similar to UNESCO because we are very close with UNESCO, and at the same time, as Eric said, we are trying to make the bridges between the performing arts and emphasize was and the focus is on theater, in dance and performing arts. You will see later we have committees. We have a lot of committees and a lot of national centers. We have almost 90 national centers. All the centers are not very active, but we have the Congress in February. 59 centers were there. So we have our collaboration is divided among the centers in theater, dance, and performing arts. At the same, among committees, we have a lot of committees, but committees, dance committee, then playwrights committee, drama directors committee, then we have committees for artist rights, a festival committee, monodrama committee. So several committees, and all these committees, we try to collaborate and make network of collaborating in this part we are dealing with. So we also have a very interesting committee which is called Theater in Conflict Zones, also network. So I think that in our work we try to make programs, events, roundtables, symposiums, everything which can gather us together to speak about the important things, important problems of our main topic is theater. So I think for now is enough.
Thank you very much. The fourth organization is very traditionally connected with Prague Quadrennial. It is OISTAT, the International Organization of Scenographers, Theater Architects and Technicians. And Abi Cohen, its president, will present this organization shortly.
Thank you, Martina. Please allow me to introduce you as well, this lady on my side here, Chen-Shin from Taiwan. is also part of our organization of OISTAT and members of headquarters. And well, OISTAT, as Martina said, stands for Global Networking of Theatre Practitioners, designers from all around the world who wants to celebrate the live performance. It includes professionals, students, educators, people from the many areas, and not limited to designers. More and more being opening, as you know, you create an association long ago, 60 years ago, and then you become an umbrella for more and more people who comes on board. So today we have managers, we have producers, we have other people on board, and we can keep open commissions to embrace that need. So OISTAT was founded in 1968 by 7 countries, all based in the Northern Hemisphere. Basically, Prague, Czech Republic, Hungary, Israel, the both German sides, both German republics, Canada and United States, and was created to serve as a bridge. I think bridge is the key word we use between these associations here, these organizations, because we were created to keep the doors open, accessibility, a bridge for those who might be threatened by being isolated by the conditions and politics and threats in the world that unfortunately we see over and again. So that's our main mission, to look after the individuals, to celebrate the individuals and bring them in contact. So today, I would explain what OISTAT is about shortly by, I think, my own experience and how I met OISTAT and the relationship with PQ. I came to my first PQ in 1995, when Brazil was the first golden trigger. It was quite a historical moment. I look myself here and said, wow, what am I doing? I was very young, and I'm here in the moment, historical moment, and it was a beautiful exhibition, lots of traditional showcases of models and some performances. There was a fabulous exhibition of Svoboda, and the main pavilion, the main hall, was celebrating 50 years. And the day after being marvelous by all of that, I said, where is everybody? Who made this model? Who is behind this? Who had that thought about this concept? I wanted to meet people. 4 years later, in 1999, I came back here and I heard about OISTAT. OISTAT was setting up a side program in collaboration with PQ to bring people together in a very simple way, inviting the designers presenting at PQ to take groups of 15, 20 people on a tour to discuss the concepts, the beauty, the critics. So that was a very starting point for what later on became Scenofest, a festival to celebrate scenography. So I think OISTAT is organized by commissions. There are 10 commissions to cover many areas. You can access the website. I don't need to be here talking long about that. But we do the connections, we do constantly work. We work every time, all across. It's not just an event that happens every 4 years. But we have projects as well. We have projects like World State Design, like the regional projects in the Mediterranean area, in South America. So we still want to go to regions and connect with other associations here that could connect us to the regions where we are not strong yet, and see what we have in common and what gaps we have in between us that we could find out how to fulfill it. Okay.
Thank you very much. And we go to the last of the 5 organizations. ASSITEJ, International Association of Theatre for Children and Young People, represented by Yannick Boudot, the executive committee member of ASSITEJ. So please, Yannick, tell us about this association.
Thank you, Martina. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here to represent ASSITEJ International and being member of the executive committee. So yes, ASSITEJ International was created in '65, so it's almost 60 years now. And it was created with different countries, and the first World Congress of ASSITEJ was in '66 here in Prague. I was not born. So ASSITEJ mission, let's say we could summarize the fact it's twofold. We have at ASSITEJ, we want to advocate for the rights of the children to have access to culture, to the performing arts, but to all of arts. And also we want to unite artists, well, all artists, of course, so that they can make work for children and young people. And when I say children, it's really from the very small ones, from the toddlers, until when they are older, when they are teenagers or young people. It is for us extremely important to advocate the arts for the children, because the children are not only, they're not the spectators of tomorrow, as we often hear, they are the spectators of today. They are a citizen, they are spectators of today. So it is very important to advocate about this. What should I say about ASSITEJ? Because we have many activities, and I will talk to them about them later on. ASSITEJ is present in 75 or most countries. We have national centers in those 75 or so countries. There are also individual members. So we are scattered all around the continent. And 2 years ago, we applied. Well, we applied for being a European network, and we've been selected amongst 30 others European networks. And now, well, before that, ASSITEJ was just living from a small membership fees, and now we have money, well, funds coming from the European Union, so we can really make things go forward. Of course, ASSITEJ could apply for European Union network funds because it's based in Italy, it's registered in Italy. But we don't forget that it is a global association, and we don't want to leave behind the people coming from other continents that are not part or non-eligible countries in the European program. And since then, we've also applied with ASSITEJ as a partner within a European cooperation project. It has been selected, so now we are trying to fund more and more ASSITEJ so we can really make activities happen all around the world, not only in Europe but globally, to defend the rights of the children, not only the European ones but also the Africans, the Asian. Well, everyone on this planet, every child on this planet is important, and her voice must be heard, and that's what we're working for.
Thank you very much. So this was a little bit from the history of all these organizations. It's impressive how long it is, but let's look into the future. Let's dive now into the activities which are really sustainable and which really respond to the current challenges, current topics, current situation. So we will go again once more this round of all these organizations presenting a little bit more in detail some of their activities. So again, I pass to Dimitri and we go to UNIMA.
So there are different projects launched by commissions. We have 16 commissions inside UNIMA International. So we have 4 continental commissions, 3 more in the strategy, communication and status, because we are all the time in process of improving on articles and status and on values inside an organization, like, for example, the feminization or the gender equity inside the status. So things, very small things, but very important to be inclusive. And we have also the 9 transversal commissions. So we try to have also a logic and a dynamic inside an organization. It's not only every commissions can do what they want. So even if they are located by continents, we try, for example, with the project of Tomorrow's Puppetry in Africa, to involve the Commission's training, professional training, with the Commission Africa. Africa. So there was a kind of laboratory by digital workshop that we provide for in 7 countries in Africa in different time. 2 were in French and 3 in English. And we were also open to other countries or members or puppeteers not coming from these centers. So thanks to this project, we had new centers in Burundi, for example, because they were so excited in Burundi to participate to the project of Tomorrow's Puppetry and to the dramaturgy in the digital way of thinking, how we can invent the new way of making puppetry, because puppetry has a lot of sense, and we don't have exact definition. In all the countries, in all the continents, puppetry means a lot of things. So we can, if you look also in Africa, the question was how to meet also the requirements of modernity in the tradition of puppetry still existing in their country, because there are also a history of puppetry before the colonialism, so that we need also to be careful. So it's why, for example, the diplomacy in the organization as UNIMA is very important in the way that we try also to be open to the other, and not only by the fact that we have decided to do something for them. So that's something is very difficult. It's also a question of money. For sure, we need to rethink the relation and the cooperation between North and South. And the puppetry is, I think, is a medium, a fantastic medium to change the point of view about who is civilized, who has the culture of theater. Because the anthropology say to us a lot of things about what happens before or maybe beside. It's true that puppetry is a marginal art, puppet theater, or it's marginal art theater in the way that we are still oral culture, and it's very late that we developed a kind of intellectualism or academism about puppetry. So still now in Belgium, for example, in my country, there are no PhD in puppetry fields. So we need to think that we have a lot to do in comparison with Czech Republic, for example. There are so many PhD in Czech Republic. But no, it's important also.
It's rare.
No, but education is also a different way of education. It's also for the people making projects, like in a training, a professional training, or the Women Life Freedom, for example. We have the president of the Cooperation Commission. She's from Iran. And we cannot put her in the situation of danger. But we want also to be solidar, because the topic of the freedom of the artist woman is still quite vivid in a lot of countries, even in northern cultures. So that we tried, because before we had a woman commission, but we didn't understand why we have to have a woman commission against a man commission. Sometimes the topics and the discussion inside UNIMA International can be very hard. We cannot also understand each other, but it's the step to project something else, and maybe to redefine differently the perspective of the puppetry. And the puppetry as not only a kind of evidence, but sometimes also to be open in the way of the contemporary art. Because now puppetry is everywhere in the way that if we can consider puppetry as visual arts or a little bit theater of object, or we can, so many, or we have also the hybridization of art. So the puppetry is also in dance, in actors, theater. So that we have everywhere puppetry, but still we don't have the recognition of puppetry as art. So that's something paradoxical for puppeteer and for UNIMA International. So we are the oldest organization for the art theater. We want really to stress the power of the puppet. So that's in the networking. So that's for me not the end now.
Thank you very much for this insight. Jeffrey, how is it with theater critics? Do you share the same challenges and problems as it was presented from the puppet field?
Probably not. You know, criticism is a lonely life. to a certain extent. We often take someone to the theater with us and we talk about it later, but then we have to go sit in our room and bleed all over our keyboard to think of things that are acceptable. Perhaps we've had a positive experience, we're having a positive response. Perhaps we have not. You know, it can be a very lonely experience. It can be an isolating experience. And one of the great things about the International Association of Theater Critics is that it gives us a place to come together where we understand the challenges of criticism. And of course, I mentioned earlier the shrinking media environment. But it's also important for us to focus on the next generation. Even as we've seen media shrink, I believe that we were just talking about this in a different session this morning. I believe that there will be growth, there will continue to be growth in theater because we need what we have in this room today, and that's people in the room breathing, thinking, being present. And I think that's going to come back. We're still coming out of this pandemic time. You know, it's not completely over yet. We have to sort of reset ourselves in a certain way, and it will recede, I think, eventually. But one of the things, there are several projects that we undertake. There are several ways that we work to enhance the field of criticism, and one of those is a Young Critics Seminar. We've changed the name. It's Young Critics Workshops. Actually, we changed the name several years ago, but I keep saying it. Young Critics Workshops, where we bring young critics together. We bring together a group of English-speaking, and we bring together a group of French-speaking. We go to festivals. We just came back from the festival in Varna. We had a session last week, or 2 weeks ago, and it's a really interesting experience because, and I was a young theater critic many years ago. I had the experience in Gdańsk in Poland, and it opened my eyes to a number of things about the way we can see the world. So in that way, we can begin to prepare the ground for those folks who are going to come after we do, and I hope that they do. We also have I mentioned this, the connection of having our meetings and having our conferences where we can talk about the issues of criticism, talk about the issues of theater, talk about the impact of politics, we sort of do politics to some extent, although we don't get involved in into the national business, the business of the national sections. We stay out of the business of the national sections, but we do engage, and we've been engaged very much on the topic of populism. And various populisms, not just right-wing populism, which I think is the thing that we often focus on, but also populisms on the left, and how those expressions of humanity in its light and its dark modes have an impact on the world in which we live. So these conferences, these topics at conferences are important. We've had conferences on women in theater and the representation of women, and how the idea of the feminine has shifted and changed, and what the idea of female identification can mean. And this goes back some years that we've talked about this. And we actually have an Iranian member who happens to be my wife, but who has written on the topic of women and femininity, was involved from the United States in the women of freedom. Women, life, freedom, right. Zan, Zendegi, Azadi, right. So anyway, and the other thing that we're doing that's very important, and this is the pride of our organization, is Critical Stages Send Critique. It's our bilingual journal that started as a really good idea and has become a world-class model that is indexed in a number of important, it's a peer-reviewed, a bilingual peer-reviewed journal, and it appears now in a number of important indexing systems, which is important for young academics who are trying to build their careers, and our editor-in-chief is with us here today, and maybe at some point we'll have an opportunity to hear from him as well. So I think I've probably, oh, and we also we created some years ago a set of ethical standards for the ways that critics should engage with artists and the way that critics should engage with theater companies, and how we can hold up the highest standards of the profession, and also to be humans ourselves. You know, I like to think of us not as human beings, but as human becomings, because we are always becoming more human. I hope we are anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now ask Željka and Ivona Kreutzmanova to present the work of ITI, but Željka, now I will ask you to step out from the role of the executive committee member, but to be more like the representative of the Croatian National ITI Center and tell us something about the activities. And later on, we will have Ivona Kreutzmanova, the president of the Czech ITI Center, and she will explain how this center works here in the Czech Republic. So, Željka, please.
Okay. As I said before, it is very important, this kind of collaboration among all the countries, but especially for the countries which are not well known at the theater map. So one example is Croatia, for example. So we have a network for international collaboration to present Croatian theater, because when you say what is Croatian theater, nobody knows, because it's a small country, small language, and of course there is unknown. So we make showcase. It is very important for us, because we have the distinguished performances which are maybe not the best in Croatian theater now, but these performances are something special and have universal level to communicate it with the others. And of course, we have from 2005 we have showcase each year, and we have really very good results. The second important thing is we have we are small language, so translators for playwrights is something which is very important for us. So we are invited selectors, agent, translators, all kinds of these theater people who can help us to spread our theater performances, but at the same time our playwrights and our plays. So in showcase, focus is in theater. The second program is International Drama Colony. Focus is on playwright. So we invited people from all over the world. We have the playwrights from Chile, from all the Europe, from Mexico, Philippines, to come to Croatia, and we have something which I can say it is public reading, but public reading in one small town in Istria. What does it mean? We are dedicated 1 week, 7 days to make the public reading with professional actors and director to make this play common with the situation. And the second step is this translation give to the Croatian theaters. to be staged, maybe staged in the future. So also we have something which is special, and because we have very good results that I would like to say. We have two translators, an agent in Spanish-speaking area, and the second one is in Poland. So there are two ladies who are translating the plays from Croatian playwrights, and then they used to go through the theaters to give these translations. Because you know, when you are in Spanish-speaking territory, nobody speaks English. They are speaking Spanish, and when they have the play in Spanish, it is more important for the big result than if you have everything in English. So our playwright Ivor Martinic now was staged in all South America, from Argentina when he started in the festival, which is called Festival Dramatica Europa and America. Now he is living in Barcelona, and all South America stages his plays. So it is the way, it is the methods which we invent for our national center, because we know what we need. Of course, big country, big language doesn't need this, but we are small and we are unknown, and so we have to go outside.
So it's an interesting example how a national ITI center can replace kind of institution which is promoting like the performing arts scene internationally. Ivona, the Czech ITI Center works completely differently. It's very different way of operation and also focus. So please share with us.
Oh yes, absolutely. I have to tell that if I look at the member states and the huge amount of partners in the whole World Congress, we were together this February of ITI under UNESCO. I think more about bureaucracy and all of these offices in different regions. It's of course over the world, so it's also Asia, Latin America, it's Africa, of course, and Mid-East. And I have to tell that my feeling is that what we take here in Europe as a natural thing is not absolutely obvious in every country, and this is the freedom of expression. And for me, these artists' rights and freedom of expression and the theme of theater in conflict zone and Ukrainian war, everything we touched a little bit, not too much deeply during the Congress, is resonating for sure in every European theater scene or performing arts scene, because I'm representing dance. Sorry for looking at the mobile phone, but I'm in the middle of festival Tanec Praha, which is in 25 cities right now in the Czech Republic in June, so it's crazy timing. But coming back to the Czech ITI Center is totally different, because in our small country with a small language and but very rich language, we are organizing the platform for ITI as a meeting of many different partners, associations, professional associations, also representatives of ASSITEJ, UNIMA, OISTAT and others, theater academies, public theaters, independent theaters, dance professional associations, new circus, everything is there. So it's more than 15 different partners. So for us, it's the power of unity, power of finding the common themes which we can really share with the government, with the local authorities. We are really using ITI as the platform for advocating for live arts and for really showing the power. And during the COVID time, it was extremely important because I think I was just nominating as president because no one wanted to do so much of work, to be honest, yeah? Because it was totally crazy and we had to be in daily or weekly contact with the Minister of Culture and the government and deal with the situation which we never had before. And this advocacy, I feel, is a very important role, of course, besides International Theatre Day, International Dance Day. We celebrate all of that, everyone his own way. We also like to go our own way because we are individuals and performing arts is very fragmented, but I really feel this power in it.
Thank you. So these were two examples how national centers of these international non-governmental organizations operate. Let's move to OISTAT. Probably you will present mainly world stage design from the point of view of the president, but also of a participant who was involved in this huge event. So Chen-Shin and Abi, please tell us more about OISTAT activities.
Thank you. Just before jumping to OISTAT activities, as you can see in the map, OISTAT is present today in 52 countries, and we achieved a better balance today. If you see, we cover a bit more Africa, South America, and Oceania in Asia than when it started. And as we organize it by commissions, we have, as I said, 10 commissions, 6 main commissions, 6 and 4 sub-commissions. So we have place for people interested in education, research, architecture, education, performance design, which is an umbrella for costume, space, lighting and sound design subgroups, and technology, right? The publication and communication commission as well. So each one of these commissions and sub-commissions, they have their independence to create projects. So they can create as many projects, submit, share, and of course we have the governing board, and our governing board is organized by a chair of each commission, so we have at least 10 people, plus the executive committee and the president, who are another 7, plus the president, 8 people. And I must say that gives us a good balance of people representing a gender balance, and representative from many countries, because we have sit on the governing board and the governance of OISTAT people from all regions, all continents, so goes from Australia, Egypt, India, North America, including US and Canada, Europe, many countries like Czech Republic, I'm forgetting a lot, Greece and Brazil, of course. So it gives us a plural voice in how we tackle projects that will be of the interest in different countries. So most of our projects are projects that will walk around the world. So World State Design is one of our major projects that happens every 4 years. Yeah, please. Yeah, we can show the video so we can talk over. And we can explain if you, can you see the video? Yeah. So this is an example of a World State Design 2017 in Taiwan, when Chen-Shin came on board to be part as well of an internship students program in partnership with PQ. And then we're gonna just explain a bit about World State Design, and she can tell about the experience on being part of a common projects between 2 organizations. So basically, World State Design includes an exhibition that is not created by country, but every individual designer can submit their work and possibly have a space in the physical gallery. Is about 100, 150 projects for emergents and professionals in all areas of design. So you can individually submit your work, and that's a good window for you to achieve and for people to get to know brilliant, talent, new designers. So in the World State Design, we also have some competitions. that's related to architecture theater competition, technical invention prize, because we celebrate the technicians as well. And technical invention prize is a very interesting project that asks for the technicians to create solutions, simple solutions that can facilitate the everyday life in the backstage, and that could be replicated in different countries. We have a festival, Senofest, with a lot of activities, performances, talks, and every year, every 4 years, it moves from country to country. And that's very important because it's an opportunity that you have to go to the country, for the people in the country to get to know us and to extend the bridges. So I would like to invite Chen-Shin to tell about the experience of coming on board. One important thing to say, our headquarters is based in Taiwan, but previously it was in Amsterdam and before then Prague. So yeah, it's been in Taiwan for a long time, so bringing OISTAT Design to Taipei in 2017 was a celebration as well for the work done there. So Chen-Shin, can you tell us your experience, please?
Okay, I won't talk too much because we have time limit. But in 2017, I was the volunteer for WSD, and I want to know if there is a volunteer in PQ in this space now. Can you raise your hand? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so in WSD 2017, I was a volunteer, as I have mentioned. And that is the time that I know Makita Fantova is the artist director of PQ, and she presented that PQ and OISTAT have a collaboration about the internship, which means that you can be an intern in these two big projects. So whether you are a producer like me, or the theater technicians, or other backgrounds, you can find your place in these two festivals. So 4 years ago, 2019, I was the intern in PQ. So, can I see the volunteers' hand again? Thank you for making PQ happen. You are the team. You are the best of the team. So, okay, so after PQ, I work in the OISTAT headquarters now, but I want to say is that why we have the session today is because, how to say that? Okay, so as other people has mentioned, they want to know more the new generation or new blood. So for things like PQ or OISTAT collaboration is a good start to the new generation to step into this kind of no matter it's the global exchange things or other international opportunity. So if you want to step into international work, please don't be shy. After this talk, just remember this face and talk to them. I believe that they want to know you as well. So I can give you back.
Yeah, I'll just complete one thing. During every 4 years, during the PQ, a community from all around the world come here to congregate. We start taking the opportunity to meet the community as well. And every 4 years, we establish a kind of a side program or our own temporary house. So this time we are at the village Tvanice, the Divadlo village Tvanice, the other just on the island in the middle of the river. And what I want to say is that this time, who is in charge of all entire production to make our life easy and run smoothly our program is Chen-Shin. She has been responsible for putting the program together, bringing the people together, different demands from different presenters, different activities, and that's what it can take you.
Thank you very much. So, an invitation to join OISTAT or the other organization through these persons who are with me on stage or through the webpage, as you wish. And let's move again to ASSITEJ and present activities of this organization. Yannick mentioned the new projects funded from European funds, but I welcome also Zuzana Sikacheva, who is the member of Czech ASSITEJ Center, and she will present the projects where she's involved in.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'll tell you several words about ASSITEJ Czech. ASSITEJ Czech was established in the same time as ASSITEJ International. And since the beginning, we have the same or similar goals as ASSITEJ International. And in 2002, we started to organize a special festival here in Prague. The festival was connected with the World Day of Theatre for Children and Young People. But now we are in the period of change because there are quite a lot of festivals for young and children in the Czech Republic, or festivals which has special sections for children. So we started to create a support service to other festivals as a ASSITEJ Czech. It means we help them with networking because of our international connections through ASSITEJ International, and with different workshops and discussions. In 2022, it was a first visitors program in cooperation ASSITEJ Czech and IDU Theatre Institute in Prague. Foreign guests came to Prague and could see theaters for young and children here in the Czech Republic, and could discuss. So it's our strategy for the future, have these visitors programs. Now I would like to tell you several words about ITYARN, which is the International Theatre of Young Audience Research Network. It's a part of ASSITEJ International, and it's very important for me personally because I am interested in classical fairy tales, their possibilities and problems in theater for young and children. And through this ITYARN, I can share my experience and topics and ideas with other researchers around the whole world. But there are much more serious topics. We discuss, for example, how to work with LGBT plus themes in theater for young and children, or how to support original culture, not only the global culture in different countries, and how to show it children and young people. So it's from me. Thank you.
Yannick, would you like to add something about the ASSITEJ projects?
Yes, there's so many things to add, and I want to mention something that Geoffrey mentioned earlier. Yes, so as you can see, Susanna talked about the ITYARN. There are 5 other affiliated networks within ASSITEJ. So there's a network for the very young, small-sized network. There's a network of inclusivity, the International Inclusive Art Networks, IIN. There's the Young Dance Network, and there's also the next generation, so that we can support the emerging artists, young artists and emerging artists working for children and young people. And another network, it's Right Local Play Global, so this is more about dramaturgy. There are many activities. There are 2 major events that occur within ASSITEJ. One is the ASSITEJ Artistic Gathering. It's once a year. This year will be in Serbia. Last year was in Sweden. It's every year, and every 3 years we have the World Congress, where there's the General Assembly of ASSITEJ, and the next year in 24 it will be in Cuba. You're all welcome, of course. So those are festivals. There are workshops within there are roundtables, conferences, and so on. There are thousands of delegates coming from the whole world, and there are artists, researchers, young critics, and so on and so forth. And what I wanted to finish with, maybe, I wanted also to say that we want to develop also the child's participation. But it's a project in the future, but it's coming now. But one thing that Geoffrey mentioned is about the restriction in Schengen for Emmanuel. We had the same problem in the festival in Bibu last year in Sweden, where we had a bunch of artists and other people, even from the executive committee, coming from either Africa or Pakistan. They were denied to enter the Schengen area. We went to see the Ministry of Culture of Sweden, and we said that we are not happy with that. And we are trying to work with the EU to say, listen, guys, we want to have the global community here. We cannot say it's only for our, small European community. So you need to work on that with the states, with the member states. Of course, those restrictions, I think it's the national law, so you cannot, but actually they can lobby to say, okay, guys, now when we're talking about artistic exchange, please do not restrict your country to only people coming from Europe, but, open it up. So we are working on that with other members. It's not only ASSITEJ, but also other members. There's on the move.org, it's another EU network, and they're launching a survey about that. What is the problem with your festival if you want to invite people from Cameroon or from Malaysia or whatsoever, and they need a visa? So yeah, it's on the way.
Thank you so much. I am so happy. I have so disciplined speakers. We have still 20 minutes, and I think that's right the time for you to ask my guests some questions. Maybe I will just accompany your question with this last slide of our presentation. These are some questions which were raised during the meeting of these 5 international non-governmental theater organizations here in Prague. And I especially like the almost last one. There is no work without network. You can imagine that also behind all these projects and activities, there is a lot of work of all the members of all the governing boards and executive members of these organizations. So it's a huge work. But if you have an idea about some format we haven't mentioned of international collaboration, please go ahead, propose to us, or ask questions which you have connected with these 5 organizations.
So if there are any questions, Joe and I are ready to run with the microphone. So the only thing you need to do is raise your hand.
Can I add something to that? Okay.
Before the audience has some idea, you can speak.
Yeah,
but,
because
we should give them.
Yeah, we didn't mention some of European networks because we are now on the worldwide platform. But of course, ITM or European Dance House Network or Airwaves, other platforms like that are extremely helpful and live and full of contacts and networking, which is extremely helpful. So I just wanted to mention that we are not forgetting it, but because we wanted to work over the continents. Of course, we know that IETM is doing a lot of overseas visits and also EDN, but this is a little bit more worldwide.
Okay.
Yes. I'm Michel Weiss, the Honorary Secretary General of the IATC. It's not a question, it's just something I want to add to what our President Geoffrey said. He mentioned critical stages, Scène Critique, which is our theater journal. I just want to say that the editor is right here, Savas Patsalidis from Greece, and this journal is read by 1 million readers in more than 200 countries, and it's absolutely free, without any barrier. And it's the most important theater journal in the world. And it comes out twice a year. 30th June is the next issue, right? 30th June, and then 31st December. So everybody should know about this and could enjoy reading this journal, critical-stages.org. Thank you.
It's critical-stages.org. I
And it's
thought it was on
bilingual.
the slide. I didn't realize it wasn't on the
French,
slide.
English.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Hello, my name is Donna Bartelt, and I'm director of the futureschool.org. That's our website. And I'm just curious if you would all be interested in participating in transdisciplinary programs as well. The Future School is based on theme-based projects. Right now, we're here in Prague doing industrial design program on making it better and mindfulness. In July, we'll be going to Chile on climate change, and we're hoping for next year, in 24, if any participants from any of your organizations or in theater of any sort to engage in that, because we give a holistic approach to climate change so that anybody in any discipline can be involved. So we have writers and theater people and scientists and architects, any kind of people can get, and we feel that it's very important to have this holistic approach to the world issues. And if you have anybody in the crowd here has any other ideas for good topics to address that theater could be involved in. I once approached a music professor who was actually an opera singer to do an opera on climate change, and 2 months later I read about an opera done on climate change. So I would like to just ask you if you'd be interested in that, and then also invite people to look at our website to get involved.
You know, from my perspective, I think my colleagues here would agree, because we've been talking about this on Zoom, and we've been talking about it. We had a little celebration of our coming together just last evening. I think that we're talking, Abi, I want to give credit. Abi suggested at the end of that event last night that we share our agendas and that we find ways to communicate using our own web presences. And I would encourage you to reach out to us and to let us know, send us a call and let us know what you're doing, and we will share. I can say we will share it with the IATC audience and our membership, and we also do a pretty good job on social media as well. And I imagine all of us would think of it.
Can I add, at this exactly moment we are hosting a Latin American Day, a second meeting for Latin Americans in our hub. And yeah, we've been just meeting a lot of people close by, and it's a pleasure to make a bridge, because you're going to find people there or near there. They will be very happy to collaborate with you. And just to add, our commissions in OISTAT, we encourage them to work transdisciplinary and to cross projects. So there is a project that went to the last World State Design last year in Calgary. They were called Mistura. There was from all disciplines, and it was led by a lady from Peru, actually, bringing to Calgary. So yeah, we'll be pleased to share your contact to my colleagues, or you can, after here, just pop down there to Village Vanice and meet them in person. And yeah, that's what we do. There are some people here from Portugal and Brazil as well. Then I can see they might know people already. You can connect Aurora and Ana Paula.
There's a question here in the middle.
Thank you. I'm Ivan Medenica. I'm a theater critic and scholar, professor of theater studies from Belgrade, Serbia. I'm member of the executive committee of the International Association of Theater Critics. And within our association, at least within our ex-com, executive committee, I'm known as a troublemaker and somebody who provokes. So I would like, first of all, not to provoke all of us. I will do it later. But first to express our common gratitude to Martina and to PQ for this really unique opportunity. I have been traveling a lot on an international scale. I was director of Beta Festival in Belgrade as well. And I have never experienced such a gathering that representatives of different international theater associations gather together on one particular spot and such an important one as PQ. So thank you, Martina, to you, to everybody from PQ, to volunteers, I agree. So I'm really touched and very pleased with what I experienced in Prague in these last few days. Now I would like to provoke all of us. There is one very nice sentence here: there is no work without network. But I know another expression which I think should all be aware of and think of it. Networking means not working. So it could be put the other way around. I want to stress one thing. Although the organizational models of our associations are different, the majority of organizations are based on national centers and national sections, and which is not the case with one association that is not present here, which is FIRT, which is International Association of Theater Researchers, which is based on individual membership, not on national section and national centers, which I think makes things a bit more flexible. I agree with our president, and we really do not because he is the president, but I really agree, because sometimes we disagree also, with the fact that we are not supposed to interfere in the work of national centers and national sections. But on the other hand, we all know, and not only within IATC, but ITI, maybe some other sections as well, that there are on the paper centers and sections that are functioning, but which are, as a matter of fact, in reality, one woman or one man show. And this is something that can kind of contaminate our associations, that could bring harm to our associations if there are non-existing entities and non-existing bodies. So let's keep in mind that networking, yeah, I agree completely. There is no work without network, but networking can mean also not working. Thank you.
So can I just clarify one thing to what you said, one of your provocations? OISTAT is not just about national centers. We have three modalities of membership.
Yes,
as OISTAT centers, associate members, that could be a business or an institution, educational institution, and individual members. I am an individual member of OISTAT for 20 years, and I'm the president of OISTAT today. So we have a space not only for, we embrace everyone. And I was nominated by the Portuguese OISTAT Center, and we work in the way that, for me today, as we balance the representativeness of around the world and the gender, that my question here for all of us, for us to cook from now on in the future, is how we tackle diversity, equality, inclusion, accessibility in a global spectrum. Because it's completely different when you talk about one particular country, what's the urgency in that country, that is something we need to discuss in the depth. And we started with a committee formed by individual members and members related to centers from US, Canada, Nigeria, Mexico, and Brazil, myself, but we want to expand, and we would like your collaboration.
We are also democratical association, so we also have individual members from the countries which do not have national sections, and associated members, which is also a nice kind of way to be a member. Even in the countries when we have national sections, somebody could be elected for associated member if he or she is not the member of national section. So there is also within our association a diversity of formats how to be a member.
He told you he would be provocative. If I could just take a second to come back to something that I want to be sure that everyone in the room hears this. You don't have to be a practicing theater critic or a member of the International Association of Theater Critics to write something about theater, an essay on theater, or an interview with a theater maker, or a review that you wanted, that you just desperately have to get down, I think Savas would be happy to hear from you, and we'd be happy to share that information. We're very easy to find as critical -stages, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, we're interested in helping you to share your message and share what it is that you're interested in getting out to the world. And I just wanted to add that on to this, what Michelle was talking about, because I think it's really important to reach out to a new generation of writers, and we're doing that all the time. But I figure I've got a bunch of you here in the room here, and you may not know you're a writer yet. You know, you have ideas, you want to connect, or you wouldn't be in this room. Now, let's put some of that, well, I was going to say put it down on paper. Who uses paper? But you know, let's click it into the keyboard and put it up on the screen, and let's help you get it into print. Anyway, you want to?
Dimitri wanted to explain.
Savas would like to.
Oh,
sorry,
Savas?
I beg your pardon.
Thank you. Since I'm the editor-in-chief of Critical Stages, I would like to add this, which is a fundamental principle of this journal, is to give visibility, among other things, to cultures that are not visible, you know, and artists that are not visible, or because of language barriers or whatever, they do not have easy access to the international theater market. So one of the ambitions of our journal is to reinforce the position of all these artists or scholars, give them access to a larger market. So I'll be happy to share with you ideas. You are most welcome. My email is available. If you punch www.critical-stages.org, then send any message. I always answer, and I look forward to ideas. And let me add this, each issue of Critical Stages has a special topic. Once we had a special topic on puppetry, now we have a special topic on dance. Our next issue is on Germanic theaters. Another topic is indigenous theaters. So we all try to have special topics so scholars can contribute, but we also have other sections that are more very friendly to generalists or to theater fans, to performing arts fans. So do not hesitate. The journal is global, is open to all, is free access and no technical barriers. So we'll be happy, really happy to share with you our concerns, and you share with us your concerns about theater, dance, puppetry, whatever, and in that way, networking, the Ivan is work.
Dimitri wanted to react.
I think it's very important to understand that, for example, UNIMA and all organizations here are civil international organizations. So UNIMA is not the United Nations of puppeteers. So we are also individuals, and we have a kind of commitment for the goal of the organization, for us defending and promoting puppetry in the diversity, and for adults or for children. But I am not sent by my Ministry of Culture or my Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Belgium, saying that I have to defend the point of view of Belgium, for example, in this level, international level. So it's very important to understand that we are creating a kind of public space, a criticism, a kind of world criticism about theater in the different point of view. So by the fact that through the puppetry, or through the scenography, or through the critics, the review, okay, that's very important to understand that if we have centers, never the center represents also, even if it could be, but in the case that if they are sent by the Ministry of Iran, or I don't know, other countries of China, they cannot, maybe by the networking, they are not able to go further and to take a kind of representativity. It's very important that even if we have this kind of struggle of power inside an organization, they need to have the networking. And if they don't share the values of the international organization, they have no chance that they will be in the top or in the level of the decision of the organization. So that I wanted to say that.
Some other comments? We have lost 6 minutes, so maybe last question.
My name is Elahe Marjovi, and I'm originally from Iran, and I felt like I should speak up because name of my country was brought up a lot. And thank you so much for amplifying our message of revolution in this forum. But I wanted to bring up that in order to promote EDI internationally, you should also think about countries that, you know, in Iran, for instance, people even don't have access to internet. It's the same for China, I know, for some websites. And language barriers, some folks even can't send an email, for instance. So I'm wondering how your different organizations are tackling this issue, while individual artists in countries like Iran, they don't even know you exist. I know ITI has a center in Iran, but it's, and you are a non-government organization, but our center is a government organization, so it's ridiculous. So you are not connecting with the artists. So when they even, ITI sends an email and I receive it, they're promoting a festival, theater festival in Iran, which is run by the government, and even the artists, they don't want to participate. So there is this barrier of the governments everywhere, and you cannot reach artists without passing by the politics, as much as all of you want to be non-political organizations. So thanks so much, but I feel like the efforts in the outreach to these countries should be different from how you are reaching out to people here and asking us to send you email or come and say hi. It's much easier for us, but it's so different for people in Iran or, people who don't have this access.
I would like to let you know, though, that we have a section of AICT in Iran. We have an Iran section, and in fact, my wife was was a member of our executive committee for 2 terms before she decided to come to the United States. So we have a close relationship. It hasn't been as close in the past few years, possibly partly because of pandemic. But are you talking about, we actually have had a meeting, and Michelle was present at that meeting at the Faj Festival. And my wife was actually the manager of international events for the Faj Festival at one point. And I understand what you're saying about the politics and how you have to conform in certain cultures, in certain countries, you have to conform to certain kinds of censorship. This is one of the reasons why advocating for free expression is such an important idea to me, and it's such an important topic. And it's one of the things that we focus on in the International Association of Theater Critics. But we are trying to do everything that we can, and we're trying to build those associations and support those associations. But there are unfortunate compromises that we always have to make, I think. We also have a pretty strong, we have 3 sections in China. Not 3 sections, I'm sorry. We have 1 China section. We have 3 groups in the China section. So we have do you want to say this, Michelle? Michelle has this better than I,
There is 1 Chinese section, but before that, we had a Taiwan section, which now we must call Chinese Taipei. And we used to have, and we still have, a Hong Kong section, which we are forced to call Chinese Hong Kong. But we have 3 sections in these countries. They're all sections, they're all national sections: Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China.
There's also a question, I don't know for the other organization, but for us, for example, a member of a center is a member of UNIMA International. So it's de facto It's not only member of the center, national center, it's member of international center. So he can, by the fact that he's member of the UNIMA Iran or UNIMA China, he can be member of UNIMA International. He can contact UNIMA International. Even he can be independent and not be member of the center of China, but independent member of an organization. Maybe it's not a lot, but it's already something, giving a kind of freedom, and even if it's dangerous for them, so that I understand that.
We have
I would
that,
maybe point out it to the fact that ITI has this artists' right committee, which is run by the German ITI Center or coordinated by them. So actually, also it is a way how to channel the problems of free speech, censorship, and so on and so far through this committee, and to bring the voice to the international community, and maybe also ask for some help, which is in the power of these cultural organizations. We are almost finishing, so last answer from Abby, and then we close.
Yeah, just wanted to use your example. Thank you for reaching us. That happened exactly like that. In the past times, we will only meet in person. Today, we can meet digitally, but still, when this happened, you can tell us about what's going on. These meetings are the most precious, is when we can address and say, okay, we know you, we know us, so let's keep connected from now on and see how we can help you to feel more connected when you go back home. Our OISTAT design project, and among others, as I said in the beginning, it travels. So 2025, we're gonna go to Sharjah in Emirates. And is every event you place in the world, you need to well communicate people to know how to travel, what the issues you can find, or facilitates. We had the previous one in Canada, for example. There are some countries that needed to apply for 6 months in advance for the visa to get there. But if people are well informed, and we facilitate that information and dealing with the local government, we give access to people. So please, the ones who are interested, we please to carry on this conversation out of the room. And who wants to reach us, we are here, or otherwise you can follow us in the website, oistat.org. That's easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I would like to thank it to my team from Perform Check and to my colleagues from PQ for having us, for making these meetings possible, and hopefully international networking has some power.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Martina, for convening this wonderful panel. I would like to pick up on Abby Cohen's wonderful idea that these meetings are precious, and also what Michelle has said about how wonderful it is, and that so many valuable and very powerful networks have come together to talk. This is rare, this is unique, and I would like to thank you very much for this opportunity and also for sharing this with us. Thank you very much.